Truth or consequences, embellishment or lies. You be the judge, or somebody else will certainly judge for you.
Hey guys, this is Janae Noonan, and I'm here with Dr. Jarrett on License to Live. Hit the subscribe, follow the journey. Let's go.
Welcome to the Licensed to Live show, where professionals, doctors, champions, VIPs, attorneys, and those in public office discover strategies that help you restart and gain what is lost when you find yourself accused. If another has doubted your integrity, questioned your credentials, or caused your actions to come under scrutiny, you are in the right place. On the other hand, if you have never felt the knot in the pit of your stomach when legal papers are served, the heartbreak of disappointing your family when the lock clicks shut on handcuffs, or had to appear before a board of review, then be aware, the longer you serve, the more likely you are to find yourself under the microscope of those who judge. Prepare yourself for this uncomfortable possibility. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jarrett Patton.
Welcome to this episode of License to Live. My name is Dr. Jarrett Patton, and I am your host for our journey together today and every day you choose to listen to this show. If you or anyone you know has been dissed in their career, please invite them to join us along this journey. Just go to your favorite podcast player and hit subscribe. And while you're there, please rate this episode and give me feedback so I make sure I provide you with the most up-to-date information about career challenges and life changes. It really came from a congressman from New York who thought that it was a good idea to embellish his resume. Some people say embellish. Lots of people started looking at it and said it's lying. And one of the things that I heard him say is that, well, everybody embellishes their resume. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Stop the presses. And I looked around, I looked for some research, I was ready to do polls, and I realized that, people and a lot of you fire starters out there are like, well, no, I don't embellish or lie on my resume, which is a good idea. And I'll tell you exactly why that's not a good idea right after we finish thanking our sponsors.
Something smells good. EH3 coffee, premium organic. Nothing better than waking up. EH3 in your cup, premium organic. EH3 coffee. Nothing better than in the middle of your day. EH3 coffee, premium organic. EH3
coffee. Hey, this is Dr. Jarrett Patton. Do you need more positivity in your life? No matter what part of your life you want to transform, positive affirmations can help you achieve your goals. But sometimes making permanent changes can be difficult. Designed with you in mind, License to Live, daily affirmations to rebuild your life will inspire and equip you to become the best version of yourself. License to Live, daily affirmations to rebuild your life will set you on the path to changing your mindset, beliefs, speech, and ultimately your actions. You can change your life now by getting your copy at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your finer book retails, or licensedtolive.com. That's licensedtolive.com.
This is Super Bowl champion Mike Logan, and you are listening to License to Live.
Hey, everybody, save the date, July 14th, 15th, and 16th, Philadelphia, the Bellevue Hotel, License to Live. The conference is coming back, 2023, July 14th, 15th, 16th. Make sure you're there. For more information, go to licensedtolive.com. I started off with truth or consequences because recently, it wasn't that long ago, I was down in Dallas. I was in a TV studio and recording an episode for the Dr. Centrell show. And the title of that episode was Truth or Consequences. In fact, We talked a lot about License to Live, the books, the story, and a lot of the things that I've been up to. And if you want to see the episode, you can see it on streaming on Roku. You can find it on your Amazon Fire Stick. There's a few other ways you can get to it. You can even find it at Zandra TV. So I'll leave some information about that in the show notes. However, it was a great conversation that we had for the 20-something minutes that the show aired. And it brings me to this idea of lies and embellishment, because some people think that it's just fine to lie and embellish on your resume. And quite frankly, as physicians, as healthcare workers, as fire starters in general, your lives are too high up right now to be worried about lies and embellishment. So if you do this, because, well, this congressman made everybody think that everybody does this, but if you do this, well, stop doing it. There's way too much fact checking in medicine and healthcare. And if you're putting stuff on your resume, whether you're embellishing it or flat out lying about it, it's way too easy to find out. I mean, Google yourself. Have you Googled yourself lately just to see how much information there is about you? People can easily find your telephone number, your address, who you may be related to, who you may be married to. There's so much information out there about yourself. I mean, I do the same for myself from time to time. I Google Jared Patton just to see what people are learning about me. And there's lots of stuff out there. Google says, yes, I'm an author. And that's something that I do. But there's a lot of information, pictures, social media feeds, you name it. It lives out there in that cyber universe for quite some time. So the last thing you want to do is be lying or embellishing about your resume. So I won't say a whole lot about that. But if you are, clean it up and get the facts out there, because the facts are way too easy to check. It'd be one thing if I, as an example, and this is what someone could, say would be an embellishment. And if I were to say I've written over 10 books, well, people would go to see that I've written several books, but they may be hard pressed to come up with 10. So the embellishment, well, I have written 4, and sometimes you may hear me say 5 because the new project that I'm working on that's ready for getting some edits and off to the publisher is about the VIP lifestyle, learning and loving the VIP lifestyle. I wrote this with a co-author, Emmett Hayes. He's a businessman and real estate broker out of Los Angeles. And we just had a great time writing this book. And I'll tell you how we wrote the book, what's in the book some other time when we can get to that. But sometimes I may slip up and say 5. But there's not a slip up saying 10 on this. But if I said, well, let's think about the book chapters I've written for textbooks in the American Academy of Pediatrics. Let's look at book chapters I've written in medical communications textbooks. Let's look at book chapters I've written in business books, or all the articles that I've written in Forbes, on Forbes.com. So, I mean, it could be all of these things, but I would really stand with, 4 or upcoming 5 books that I stand by, a multitude of book chapters that I contributed to, and lots of credits in Forbes as well. So you can see how embellishment can get you into trouble, but just keep it simple, keep it straightforward, keep it factual. Now, on this side of the resume picture, I would recommend that you highlight some of the things that you do, particularly in your strengths. So if you were thinking about highlighting some of your leadership strengths, you may actually talk about on your resume how you led a team of individuals to accomplish a certain project. Maybe you took the no-show rate in your clinic from 25% down to 11%. And then it's something that you can talk about talk about the team and talk about exactly how you accomplish that. And it demonstrates your leadership role, even if you didn't have a leadership role officially as, a medical director or a manager or a director or a nurse manager. Any of those things out there could be true, but you just want to show that, well, although I didn't have an official leadership position, I did actually have some leadership experience. And this is one example. So you want to highlight things that may be in there. Another example could be over maybe you did something in your clinical career. So maybe you've just been strictly clinical over your career as a doctor, nurse, pharmacist, or other. And you've just been working on it. And you say, well, I haven't really done too much. But then you think about that project that actually made patient safety better in your area. And you can talk about the systems change that you made in order to not only make the care that you provided safer, but make the care that everyone provided safer. So you can find these little things in your day-to-day career that sometimes you just overlook because you feel like it's just a part of doing your everyday job. And it is a part of you doing your everyday job. However, it gets to that point where you say, well, I just do it because I like my job. I try to do the best job that I can. And I just want to make the world a better place when you leave. And if you think about those mottos in general, those are great goals that will keep you moving forward, especially when you center yourself around helping others. I mean, that's what I do. That's what you do. That's what lots of other people do. And if you keep everything centered around helping others, you'll be right where you need to be. So the next thing that you can do, I'll get into right after we finish thanking our sponsor.
The time is now to refresh your career. We help doctors, lawyers, executives, and VIPs refresh and restart. Dr. Jarrett's coaching helps you build confidence, gain more credibility, develop more leadership skills, and gain clarity in your career path. Want to climb the executive ladder or branch out on your own? We'll put your career in overdrive. Visit drjarrett.com and sign up for your free strategy session.
Make the strategy session now before there becomes a price. It's still free right now. You can get in there free right now. Go to timewithdrjarrett.com. Timewithdrjarrett.com. So the final thing I want to point out to you guys today is that, you know what? If you feel like you need to embellish or lie about your resume to get a job, apply for it anyway without the embellishment in the job. Because, I mean, there's been studies done over the last several years that show, differences in how people even read job descriptions and apply for jobs. It's been validated a couple of different times that men tend to apply for jobs when they don't fully check off all the boxes of the requirements. They may apply for a job anyway. Meanwhile, women want maybe 90%, 100% of the things checked off before they apply to a job. Now, I mean, this is across all industries and a lot of HR literature, but the point of it is that, you know what, you may be a stellar candidate for an organization, even if you don't check off all the boxes that they're looking for. Maybe you don't have that master's of public health, but you've done a lot of research in certain areas that make your lived experience and your practical experience maybe even more valuable than graduate degree. It all depends. That's why you have to highlight some of your strengths in these things. This is why you need to, look at your daily job and the things you do in your daily job and bring out some of these things. Because, well, if they want a master's, graduate degree and you don't have a master's yet, you may have gotten a master's from the School of Hard Knocks. You may have learned quite a bit on your job that would allow you to learn some of these other things. Maybe you've worked on a certification that may not be that master's that they're looking for, but it could go a long way in describing something. So the advice is apply anyway. When I've applied for jobs, I'm not always qualified for that position, but if I do get an interview, I will let them know exactly where, some of those gaps may fill because of, hey, I don't have a master's degree, but my experience in doing X, Y, or Z has led to me to understand and have a great working understanding of whatever subject matter they were expecting the degree in. So I want to encourage all of you guys, whether you check off every box on their requirements or their wish list, apply anyway. Put your time. If it's something you think that will change your life, make it better, make your career better, make your entire existence better, then do it. Don't hold back. Don't lie. Don't embellish. Keep it real. And you know what? Good things are happening. And if it doesn't work out, it wasn't meant for you anyway. I remember a time after my License to Live story, I was applying for a job and applied for a job again and applied for a job again. Maybe they lost my resume. Maybe they didn't get my file. You just wouldn't even hear back from people. And I'm wondering, why would I not be the perfect candidate? Not only for this current job, but then maybe to help lead the organization in the future. And you know what? At the end of the day, it wasn't meant for you. This world is full of abundance. And that's something I talk about in License to Live Daily Affirmations to Rebuild Your Life. It is full of abundance. And if you realize that abundance and all of the blessings that are out there are for you and have your name on it already, there's nothing else you have to worry about. See you next time. Remember, fire starters, if you or anyone you know has been dissed, please invite them to join us along this journey. Simply go to your favorite podcast player and subscribe to License to Live. And while you're there, tell a friend, rate this episode, and spread the word. We are putting this show so that you can remain with the most up-to-date information about career challenges and life changes. Make sure you check me out on social media in between episodes. You can find me at Dr. Jarrett. Spell out the word doctor, J-A, 2 R's, E, 1 T, and we'll see you next time.
No matter how disheartening the moment of accusation sounds, how deep the pain of immobilization stabs, or how bleak your future looks, no one can take away your license to live. Keep Dr. Jarrett's expertise handy and unlock your future. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or another podcast player and subscribe right now to Licensed to Live. See you next time.